Tired of living in mushrooms?
Yep.
Sometimes I just feel blue.
Sick of an overprotective papa?
The forbidden forest is forbidden. You're grounded.
Dang, Papa Smurf be bossy.
Then maybe it's time to try something new.
I saw someone who looked like us.
What if this means the Lost Village isn't a legend?
If there really are other Smurfs out there, we need to find them.
We're in this together. And by together, I mean me and you. And those guys, but mostly me and you.
What?
Don't be weird.
On April 7th,
Hefty, Brainy, Clumsy. Oh, that's not even convincing.
enter a secret world filled with unimaginable beauty
It's like a workout for my eyeballs.
and beasts
Don't eat all your rations.
around every corner.
We're not in Smurf Village anymore.
Take cover!
Hey.
Have you ever seen something so beautiful?
We've encountered a rare new life form. They are at times very intimidating.
I'm really freaking out, you guys!
We need to warn you about the evil wizard Gargamel.
Girls, protection mode.
Dang, girl Smurfs mean business.
What's so funny?
That's what I call talking out of your butt.
Huh?
Oh boy.
Smurfs, the Lost Village.
I'm leader of the Smurfs.
I happen to be the leader of the Smurfs.
Oh boy.
Whatever you say, Papa Thing.
Round of applause for Joe Manganiello and Demi Lovato. You just saw the trailer. How adorable is this movie? No, seriously. The Smurfs movie, how adorable. Come on, so cute. I got to see it this weekend with my 8-year-old daughter. She loved it. She loved all of it. And we should describe first that you are Smurfette and you are Hefty Smurf. So tell us a little bit about your characters. Describe them for us.
My character, Smurfette, is very curious. She wants to know what her purpose is. So she sets out on this adventure and she jeopardizes her safety. She intends to go out alone, independent. So she's independent, she's a bit mischievous, but most of all, she's brave and courageous.
That's right. But she doesn't go out alone because of Hefty Smurf. So tell us a little bit about Hefty.
Hefty is very strong. He's very chivalrous, but he's also in love with Smurfette. So he has this closet poet romantic side that comes out at very embarrassing moments for him.
Also, cool tattoo.
Yeah, he's got a tattoo, which is weird because if you think about it, that means there's a Smurf tattoo artist.
Right, in
There's
Smurf
like a
Village.
tattoo Smurf,
Right.
who's only ever had one client. So he just sits in this lonely tattoo parlor all day,
Waiting for another customer.
and nobody's coming in.
I mean, maybe people have hidden tattoos. You don't know. Maybe they're getting them, not telling people.
You might be onto something.
It's a little heart on his sleeve, which is just adorable.
Yes.
I was surprised how much I liked this movie and how much I liked the message behind it. This movie is smart and surprisingly deep. In the first 5 minutes, you learn that all the Smurfs have a characteristic or a job that they do, and Smurfette was never assigned a characteristic or a job.
Right, you've always known Smurfette as the only girl Smurf.
Right.
And it's time that that changes. You know, she wanted to know more about her identity, and so she sets out, like I said, on this adventure, and she learns who she is, and you get to figure out why she is the only girl Smurf and if she is the only girl Smurf.
Not to give anything away.
Right.
But it's like a serious question in the first few minutes, like, who am I as a person? And do I know who that is? And if I don't, I need to find that out.
Right.
Which is huge.
Right.
I love that. It's a really empowering message for little girls. I was sitting next to my 8-year-old daughter. I was like, are you watching this? This is good. This is, like, are you catching this? And I love that she's the one who comes for the big battle at the end and doesn't need any help when she does this. They're really trying to show her empowerment.
Right. It is empowering, and I like to be able to play strong female characters, and this is one of them.
You know, I was thinking about that because we know, I follow you on Instagram, and Demi celebrated 5 years of sobriety this weekend, this past Thursday. I know you've also partnered in a center for mental wellness, so I was wondering if those messages are important for you to get out in the projects that you do, especially to girls as little as the ones that will be seeing this.
Well, it's always important for me to think about the roles that I'll be playing or the messages that I put in my music. I always want there to be some sort of strength behind every song that I put out or character that I play. And I want people to feel empowered, and I want, I'm glad that this is a role that younger people can look at and feel empowered by.
Yeah, because not only is she looking to find out who she is, she finds out by the end that she's strong enough to do everything on her own.
Exactly.
So is that something that you find those projects are coming to you, or are you seeking them out, or?
I think it's the universe. I'm a firm believer in what you put out in the universe is what you get in return, and I put that energy out there, and I feel like that's what always comes back. So it's not been too difficult looking for roles or thinking of concepts for songs that are like that.
That's awesome. Well, Smurfs have been around since I was a little girl. They were actually first around when I was little. So when a Smurf project comes your way, is this just an automatic yes, or do you look at the story first and check it out?
Well, yes and yes. But we may be the same
About the same age.
age-ish.
I'm pretty sure I'm older than you, but okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know, I got more gray hair. No, I grew up as a kid in the 80s, and then the Smurfs were on every Saturday morning. So
Right. Me too.
I watched Smurfs cartoons.
Kids, there was a thing called Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, and you did too?
We watched
Yeah, okay, I
them.
see some people waving their hands. Okay, great.
Some of the moms, they're with
Yeah.
us.
So I grew up with the Smurfs, and yeah, when they called and said, "Hey, we want you to come in, and we want to talk to you about maybe being Hefty Smurf," it's like, come on, of course,
yeah.
of course, yeah. Especially because this movie has nothing to do with the other Smurfs movies.
Right.
It's not a sequel.
These are the old school Smurfs like you
Yeah.
remember them in the cartoon.
The old Belgian artist Peyo. This is really a continuation of the cartoon that we grew up with.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so when you're voicing this, when you go to work on the movie, I know you're used to being in a recording studio to sing songs. How is this different? Is it cool? Is it different?
Well, it's very different from making music, obviously. But, it's different from acting on screen because not only do you get to show up in your sweatpants,
Right.
which is very nice.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
And you don't have to go through 2 hours of hair and makeup. It's very different because you are playing a character that you only know from the images that you're seeing that they're playing while you're recording. You're also in a booth with producers and writers and the director, and so you're not necessarily alone either. So that was interesting.
Right. And you're creating it with just your voice. Everything that happens in the character is just your voice.
Right, which includes the grunting noises that you make when you're
Like Hefty Smurf.
opening something. Yeah.
Which is amazing. So do they build the character a little bit around you as you're in the voice in the booth, Joe? And they
Well, when
sort
you
of
first
mold it
start,
as you go?
your first recording session, you're watching stick figures. They
Right.
show you, it looks like one of those flip books.
Right.
Of stick figures running around, and they
like
explain to
old
you what they're going to animate. Then the next time you come back, a little more is animated, and so on and so forth. But by the end, like I just saw the finished movie a couple of days ago, and they had a camera on me the whole time, I remember, while we were recording. Just
Right.
sitting there.
Like to capture B-roll or
Whatever, yeah.
Wasn't sure why, but
what I think it was for was that I see that Hefty Smurf makes facial expressions that I make or do.
Oh, that's
And I
cool.
think the animators were watching that camera, and they do model it after you somewhat.
they capture. Were there any things that they tweaked or maybe lines they changed or things that were more natural to what you did that weren't there for the character?
Yeah, as you go, there's things that maybe I wouldn't say necessarily, or that I felt like maybe my character wouldn't say. So we changed them on the go. But there wasn't much changing done. They did a wonderful job of writing the script, and I had a lot of fun playing the character.
I love that. A lot of actors who voice animated movies say they do it for their kids because they want there to be a movie that their kids can see. You had a similar reason, right? Joe, you don't have kids, but
No.
I mean,
but-
unless there's anything you want to tell us about you and your lovely wife.
Haha.
I
Yeah.
just slid that in
You're
there.
not the first to try to get that type of information out of me. No, but yes, I was in a lot of adult-themed
Right.
projects.
For older people.
Yes, okay.
Right.
And what would happen as a result is that I'm a board member at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And I would go to the hospital and I visit the kids, and this isn't why I do that.
Right.
But I would go in there and the kids would say, who's he?
Right.
And the moms would say, he's on mommy's favorite show.
Right.
You know, or something like that.
Right.
And so
You'll know about True Blood later.
yeah, I'm on stuff that you're not going to be able to see for a long time.
Right.
And I have a 2.5-year-old niece, and I have a 2-year-old nephew. And I really wanted to do some things, or I guess it became very attractive for me to do things like the Pee Wee Herman movie.
Right.
Like Pee Wee's Big Holiday. Or I voice a character on the Nickelodeon series Blaze and the Monster Machines. I play the fire truck, the fire chief.
Oh, cool.
So, and then Smurfs came along, and that was, of course, you know, this is going to be great because my niece is now, we're going to take her to the premiere.
Awesome.
And my brother and his wife took her to the theater recently to get her acclimated.
Right.
So that she would understand
She's
how you
2.5.
behave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I think, the second time she'll go to the movies to
I
come
love
see
that.
it. So, and then I can get her all the dolls and get her the Smurfette doll, and it, you know.
You're the favorite
cute.
uncle,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. You actually just screened the movie for the kids at Children's Hospital Pittsburgh on Friday, is that right?
Yeah, I did. Sony was kind enough, which was actually something that as soon as I said, yes, I'm going to do this, or was offered the role, my brain started thinking, how can I take this back to the kids? And so we did a screening for Boys and Girls Club, Make-A-Wish Foundation. So a lot of kids who were just fresh out of the hospital. There was a young boy who had just battled and beat leukemia who came to the theater and loved it. And then we got to take, they sent Hefty Smurf to, to the hospital.
Right.
And we got to screen the movie for the kids who can't get out to
That's
go to the
amazing.
theater to see it.
So you got to see some firsthand reactions of the kids watching the movie.
And they loved it.
Did they love it?
Yeah,
What did
and what's great about this movie is all the kids want to watch it immediately right away
Right.
again, which I think is the true test of
Right.
whether
Kids,
or not
by the way, are
this movie works.
spoiled that way these days, right? We didn't have that luxury back in the day.
No.
You saw it in the theater.
Dad, I want to go see it again.
Yeah.
No.
You guys
saw it
also
once.
did something amazing this weekend. You were at the UN for UNICEF and the UN Foundation and for the UN to talk about their sustainable goals.
Mm-hmm.
And you met some really exceptional young people there, I understand.
Yes, some really impressive teenagers that are doing so much for the world at such a young age. It's really inspiring.
So cool. And what were some of the accomplishments that they had done?
The boy I give my award to a young man who has figured out a more efficient way to clean oil spills.
Out of the oceans.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was a bit humbling for me. Like I'm a Smurf. Like, good God, you know, like.
I know.
Yeah.
Here's your prize. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was really impressive. But every seat in the UN was filled by kids who come from all around the world to basically, they're like the leaders of tomorrow, and they're being trained. They're like the future UN.
Right.
And so it was it was like a humbling experience for all of us to be amongst these child geniuses.
But it's actually cool that you can connect these two things, and then tons of people are interested, and you're actually getting those messages out there about what the Smurf movie is about, and its empowering message, and what these kids do.
And it's about starting kids young, the next generation, and teaching them or ingraining in them the ideas for keeping a sustainable planet, and just starting them off young.
Yeah, I know their goals are like end poverty and clean the environment, and those are huge.
Yeah.
All right, I know we're supposed to leave a little bit of time for some questions, so I think we had some questions out here. Do I get to pick? Oh, no, we'll go back here.
Hi. Hello.
It's okay. It's okay. They're super nice. I promise.
Aww.
You're her idol, Demi.
Oh, thank you.
If it wasn't for your song Heart Attack, I would have never started to sing.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
This is for the both of you. How did it feel working in the Smurfs, since I know you two love the movie? Sorry. How did it feel like working in this movie?
Working in the movie was a lot of fun, and being able, like I said, being able to show up to a pretty easygoing set was really nice. I had a lot of fun voicing the character and kind of developing her character as well. It was fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. And I think that really had a lot to do with our director, Kelly, who just made such a fun atmosphere. And I was really encouraged to play around and try new things. And a lot of those things we played around with wound up in the movie. And so it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a very sweet question.
Hi. Hey, guys. Thanks for being here. I was wondering, as actors, just using your voice, was it harder for you to put all your emotion through that vehicle? And especially for you as a singer, where you're used to just like pouring your emotion out through song, maybe was it a little easier?
It was similar. I'm used to pouring my emotion out into the vocal, into the microphone whenever I'm singing. So it was definitely similar whenever when you're playing a character and you're trying to emote certain things in a voiceover. So yeah, it was similar, but it was difficult as well. It was not something that I had really done before. So it was a learning experience.
You have a little more experience with it, Joe.
Yeah, for me, it's a lot of fun because if you want to try something different, you can just stop halfway through, or as soon as you get done, you can just roll another, like you can just keep rolling take after take after take, where in film, you have to stop, reset, move the cameras back to number one, everybody has to go back, where in a recording booth, you can just, if you want to play, it's very spontaneous, you can just keep playing and playing, which is really fun for me.
We have one more question over here.
Hi guys. Thank you for being here. This is so cool. I'm really excited for the movie, and I love that you mentioned Saturday morning cartoons. So what are each of your favorite cartoons that you watched maybe as a kid or wherever?
I think my favorites were Doug and Recess and Hey Arnold, Rugrats, and even Daria. Daria was dope. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if anyone was alive for the cartoons that I watched.
I'm going to be with you, Joe. Just go.
Okay, I'm going to go, well, definitely Smurfs. I'm going to go, for me, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats. There was an old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon that I loved as a kid. I see people's hands going up. Yes, yes. So we had the same childhood, I think, you and I. There it is. Okay, great. So those are some of my favorites. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe a Scooby-Doo in there? No, I used to love those guys. I know they never went away, right? Awesome. Yeah, Scooby.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, well, I was a big fan of the comics. The cartoon was more my brother. You're closer to my brother's age. But yeah, Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles were 2 thumbs up. All right, we're all good. Thank you so much, guys. Demi Lovato and Joe Manganiello. The movie is The Smurfs. It opens on April 7th. Yes? April 7th. All right, so everybody, tell all your kids to see it. We can vouch for it. It's amazing. And thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Demi Lovato and Joe Manganiello.